City Thunder are back on top of the NBA's Western Conference after an impressive road win over the Sacramento Kings. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander waxed hot from all over. He dropped a game-high 37 points in OKC's 130-109 victory in Sacramento. Thunder's talented swingman Jalen Williams added 28 markers. Oklahoma's bench also stepped up with 40 points to stave the Kings off. In the final quarter, the Thunder outscored their opponents 33-25 to ultimately secure the win. OKC now has a record of 13 wins and 4 losses. Sacramento, on the other hand, falls to 12th place with 8 victories and 10 defeats. After the match, SGA talked about the Thunder's identity and the excellent play of Jalen Williams.
We're successful offensively when all of us, not just myself, are aggressive within matchups and moving the ball early and often. Those two things are like identity, I guess you can say, especially for the ball handlers of the group. We're at our best when we're playing downhill, fast, and moving the ball. He's getting better. He puts the work in. He wants to be better, and we're seeing him blossom before our eyes. Nothing surprised me with him. He does this night in and night out, and I've seen the work come to light. So I expect this from him. I expect that from him. And when he's that aggressive, whether the shots go in or out, it's easier for the rest of us to play. Obviously, with the gravity he has and the talent that he has, we need him in that mode 24/7.
Meantime, Tyrese Halliburton finally gives his fantasy owners a break with a terrific performance in the Indiana Pacers' close win over the New Orleans Pelicans. The Pacers floor general found his all-star form against the Pels and made clutch plays to lead Indiana to victory 114-110. Hallie finished with 34 points, including 9 threes, to go with 13 assists. A key stat, Halliburton's 73 points in his last 3 contests is his best scoring output over a 3-game stretch this season. The Pelicans put up a good fight behind Elfrid Payton, who tallied 14 markers, 7 rebounds, and 21 assists, the most by anyone so far this season. Payton had just played in 3 NBA games since coming off a 2-year hiatus from the association. That included stints in the G League and overseas. The Pacers climbed to 7th in the East with 8 wins and 10 losses. The Pelicans stay at bottom of the West with 4 victories and 14 defeats. After the game, Halliburton talked about the ups and downs of his individual campaign this year.
At the end of the day, I think that's all that really matters. I think my individual performance and how I view that, I mean, if we're winning, I really don't care, I think I've been frustrated with myself because I feel like the games that we've been losing, if I was myself, then we would be winning, So I care more about us winning than what my numbers are looking like necessarily. But, yeah, I mean, obviously it feels good to see the ball going, It's been obviously a frustrating first, few games of the year. I just got to stay true to who I am and keep putting in the work, keep shooting on my off days. Obviously there's an internal battle and internal conversations that I have with myself every day. And I've had a lot of people reach out to me, check on me, and I'm really appreciative of that. But, I think for me, just trying to stay even keel, not paying attention to what others are saying necessarily, just being true to who I am. And got a lot of great people in my corner and my family, and just relying on them, when everything else take care of itself.
A career performance from OG Anunoby as the New York Knicks dismantle the Denver Nuggets. What should have been a slugfest turned into a one-sided contest in favor of the Knicks. Final score 145-118. Anunoby top scored for New York as he dropped a career-high 40 points. The Knicks also moved the ball well for a whopping total of 45 assists. Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson likewise got it going. Cat had 30 markers and 15 boards, while Brunson chipped in 23 points and 17 dimes. The lone bright spot for Mile High City was Russell Westbrook, who ended up with a team-high 27 points. New York has improved its record to 10 wins and 7 losses, while Denver has fallen to a 9-7 win-loss slate. Here's Nuggets guard Jamal Murray talking about the beatdown they absorbed from the Knicks.
I just think it's a long season. Guys have lives outside of basketball. We just beat LA in LA. Got some guys that live in LA, so stayed in LA. And like I said, I don't think the focus was there from everybody. And that's what happens when you don't have the focus. Like I said, it's not on coach. It's not on what plays are running. It's not on anybody else but the guys that are out there on the court. So, like I said, it's a tough one to go back and watch or even accept. But it was expected. If that's the kind of energy that the whole team is going to bring to start the game and continuously, not have a response, then that's what happens. So we've been on the other side of it. I've been on the other side of it. And tonight we were on the wrong end of it.
We got 6 more NBA games on tap today.
Here are the results. Jaden Ivey propels the Detroit Pistons past the Toronto Raptors after nailing a jumper at the buzzer, 102-100. The Orlando Magic continue to roll after a 95-84 victory over the Charlotte Hornets, spoiling LaMelo Ball's 44-point night. 4 guys score at least 20, led by Kyrie Irving's 32, as the Dallas Mavericks take care of business against the Atlanta Hawks, 129-119.
Meantime, Ja Morant returns with a statement, notching a double-double in the Memphis Grizzlies' 123-98 obliteration of the Portland Trail Blazers. Kristaps Porzingis also returned to the Celtics lineup, scoring 16 markers in Boston's 126-94 blowout of the LA Clippers. And lastly, the undermanned Brooklyn Nets clobber Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors 128-120.
A crucial match tomorrow for the last ticket to the UAAP men's basketball semifinals. We've got Adamson Falcons head coach Nash Rasella back on the show to talk about the do-or-die game against the UE Red Warriors. Stay tuned here on Play by Play. Are back. Thank you for joining us here on Play by Play. After a long wait, highly touted guard Jerome Lastimosa is set to make his debut in the PBA. The 9th overall pick of the 2024 draft was listed in the Magnolia Hotshots official roster, which makes him available for the upcoming Commissioner's Cup. Lastimosa recently saw action in the Hotshots tune-up games after missing the entire Governor's Cup due to an ACL injury. Lastimosa hurt his knee while playing for Adamson in the UAAP and is expected to share point guard duties with Magnolia's resident floor general, Mark Baroca. The former soaring Falcon made a name for himself in college with his playmaking and shot-making, especially during crunch time. This even led to his inclusion in the Gilas Pilipinas lineup that won the gold medal in the 32nd Southeast Asian Games. The Hotshots' first game in the mid-season conference will take place on Thursday as they take on the Blackwater Bossing at the Ninoy Aquino Stadium.
Speaking of Adamson, the Soaring Falcons will take on the UE Red Warriors tomorrow for the final ticket to the UAAP men's basketball semifinals. The do-or-die battle takes place at 6:30 p.m. at the Mall of Asia Arena. This will be the third time that the two squads will face each other this season. In the first round, Welo Lingo came to the Warriors' rescue, nailing a tough game winner to give UE a 63-62 win over Adamson. That victory gave the Warriors a 5-game win streak to end the first round of elimination games. But the Falcons were able to strike back in the second round, winning a low-scoring affair, 45-37. Both teams shot poorly from the outside, and it took Adamson 40 attempts to hit just 8 trays. But for UE, they were just 3 for 24 from deep for a 12.5% shooting clip from downtown. The bench also keyed in for the Falcons, scoring more than half of the team's total output.
And to talk more about that big game tomorrow, we've got Adamson Falcons head coach Nash Rasella back on the show. Good evening, Coach. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening,
Hi,
Coach.
good evening, Cheska. Good evening, Jad.
Coach, first, again, we cannot be even more thankful that you were able to join us tonight because of your busy schedule. First, we need to talk about the team's morale right now, coming off winning 3 of your last 4 games.
Oh, I'm assuming it's, we have good morale going to tomorrow's game. It's nice that we're coming off a win against Ateneo. But again, you go to a knockout game, all bets are off, regardless of the results in the first and the second round. So we're just hopeful that the boys will be able to play well tomorrow, be ready for the challenge.
Coach Nash, we know that more than the X's and O's, you're known to be someone who leads with heart and you temper the emotions of your players. For your team, be it the players, the coaches, how are you guys managing the pressure right now entering a do-or-die game?
Well, I'd like to say there's not much pressure actually. Nobody expected us to be in this knockout game. Some people even ranked us number 8, pre-season. So that's something that actually motivated a lot of our players and coaches. And we're just blessed that after 14 games, we find ourselves in a knockout game against also a deserving UE squad.
Coach, 3rd year in a row that Adamson is trying to enter the Final Four via playoff. This is familiar territory for you already, but when you're going to face UE, what is the unfamiliar territory there?
I always say it's the knockout game will be a different game, not compared to the first 2 games. So even if we're kind of familiar with each other already, the way we play, the style of coaching that we have between myself and Coach Jack, we expect a lot of different things also tomorrow, unexpected. So we just have to be ready and make in-game adjustments.
Without giving too much away, Coach Nash, of course, the game is not until tomorrow, but are there any statistical departments maybe that you feel will really play a big key in tomorrow's game? Going back to your first round matchup, rebounding was a department that was pretty much dominated by the Warriors. Of course, they have a precious Momoe down inside.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jad. But again, it takes a whole team to really challenge Momoe. I think the second round we did better against Momoe. We were able to stop, not really stop him, but at least limit his productions and his rebounding. That's probably the same thing that we want to do tomorrow. I always say it's always a collective effort for us to be able to have a chance in the game.
And then, of course, I'm sure you guys have already gone through the first round and the second round matchups against UE. First round, Welo's game winner. the second round matchup, very low scoring game, coach. But what do you need to, prepare for? Aside, well, yeah, Precious Momoe, all that stuff. But key adjustments, considering that the split matches against UE in the first round and the second round.
Yeah. Well, you look at the stats. One of our strengths really is our defense. No, that's something that really helped us this season. On the other hand, you look at UE. They're one of the better offensive teams. So I guess it's gonna be offense versus defense tomorrow. We just hope that, just like in the second round, we were able to limit their production. So sana bukas, ganun din kami. No? We know that UE will make their adjustments, proper adjustments to be able to score more against us. But yeah, the goal is really just to limit them. You can't really stop them. They're a very talented team and a well-coached team. So yeah, we just hope we could limit them tomorrow.
Well, limiting them to 37 points, coach, is almost synonymous to stopping them, really. So yung pala yung gustong kind of a game nila, Coach Nash, for tomorrow. We know you're gonna need some rest, so we'll let you go, Coach Nash. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, Coach Nash. Still in the UAAP championships for UST and NU. As the men's and women's beach volleyball tournaments come to a close, the UST Tiger Sands men's team successfully defends its crown after beating the NU Bulldogs in straight sets in the final 21-13 and 21-16. This is now the 6th straight UAAP men's beach volleyball title for UST. UST's Dominic Gabito was named most valuable player after his strong performance throughout the tournament. It is the opposite result in the women's division as the NU Lady Bulldogs end the UST Tiger Sands 6-year reign. The Lady Bulldogs won the final in 3 sets, 21-16, 19-21, and 15-11. NU's Honey Grace Cordero was named the season's MVP after leading the Lady Bulldogs to its first ever beach volleyball title. After the break, the PLDT high-speed hitters remain undefeated in the PVL All-Filipino Conference after powering past the Capital One Solar Spikers. More details when play-by-play returns. Welcome back. You're watching Play-by-Play on One News. The PLDT high-speed hitters are now 3-0 in the PVL All-Filipino Conference. The high-speed hitters made quick work of the Capital One Solar Spikers for a 25-17, 25-20, and 25-17 victory at the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig. In the third set, PLDT denied Capital One any chance to build momentum, surging to a 15-6 lead and never looked back. Kath Arado was hailed the player of the game with 14 excellent digs and 7 excellent receptions. With the win, PLDT takes solo first place in the standings, still unbeaten after 3 games. Capital One continues to search for its first win in the conference.
Nakaka-proud siya kasi yung may goal kasi kami talaga as a team. So kahit papano, maganda kasi talaga yung preparation namin. Siyempre, tulong na din ng mga coaches, nagsa-scout sila, then ina-apply naman namin sa training. So, talagang hindi na bago sa amin yung galaw namin, kailangan na lang talaga namin masundan yung kung ano yung plano, yung sa sistema na ini-input talaga nila coach.
Actually, yung results nung past 3 games, hindi masyadong nag-a-affect sa amin eh. Nandun pa rin talaga kami sa pag-mindset kung paano namin i-look forward yung mga stronger teams. Yun nga, parang nabuhin ko kanina, bonus na lang na nagiging easy wins, pero dagdag na lang talaga na may momentum kami going to those hard games. Pero yun, yung mindset pa rin talaga na regardless kung gaano kabigat, dapat mag-show up kami lagi.
Meanwhile, the Chery Tiggo crossovers are back in the win column. The crossovers powered past the next-led Chameleons in straight sets 26-24, 25-15, and 25-18. Chery Tiggo looked to make quick work of next-led. They pulled away 12-4 early in the third set. Next-led tried to mount a small comeback, trimming the deficit to just 5 points at 18-23. But Mary Rose Dapol and Ces Robles would close the game out and secure the victory for Chery Tiggo. Robles led the crossovers with 15 points on 14 attacks and 1 block. With a win, Chery Tiggo bounces back from a 4-set loss to the Signal HD Spikers last Thursday. The crossovers now have a 2-1 record, while next-led remains winless at 0-3. We are down to the last 3 game days before the semifinals of the Spikers Turf Invitational Conference. Let's check out the games tomorrow at the Inares Sports Arena in Pasig. In the first match, the Crisscross King Crunchers go for their 5th straight win as they take on the Chichi Brotherhood Titans. That match is set at 4 p.m. A win will propel the 6-1 King Crunchers to 2nd in the standings. But the Brotherhood Titans hope to pull off the upset for their first win in the conference. Then at 6 p.m., the PGJC Navy Sea Lions look to keep their semis hopes alive against the Martelli Meats Master Butchers. Sitting with a 4-3 record, the Sea Lions will need to win its remaining games for a chance at the 4th and final semi-slot. On the other hand, the 1-6 Master Butchers hope to end the conference on a strong note. You can watch the games live on One Sports Plus and on the Pilipinas Live app.
We've got the NBA and the PVL in tonight's highlight reel. Let's take a look at that first one. The Grizzlies, they force a turnover and the fast break starts. It's Ja Morant coming down the lane. Watch out, everyone. My goodness, nice pass from Scottie Pippen Jr. Welcome back. Ja Morant, fresh from, a return from a hip injury, immediately does this. He finishes with a double-double, 22 points, 11 assists. The Grizzlies beat the Blazers 123 to 98. The next highlight we're going to take a look at, it's LaMelo Ball making Goga Bitadze dance before hitting that step-back, one-legged three-pointer. I mean, take a look at this. The swagger attached to that move, a LaMelo Ball original. He did finish with 44 points coming off a 50-point performance against the Bucks. Fortunately, the Hornets still dropped this one to the Magic 95 to 84. Moving on, our last play from the NBA. The game was tied at 100. Jaden Ivey to the rescue, hitting his very first game winner in his young career, and he puts the Pistons on top of the Raptors. Ivey finished with 25 points, leading Detroit to their 8th win of the season. Spectacular move from the young one, Jaden Ivey of the Detroit Pistons. Now, in the PVL, we check out one of the few bright spots from the Capital One Solar Spikers. Mika Reyes with the serve, which was properly received by Sidney Niegos. Iris Tolenada would then give it to the middle blocker, the running attack, which slotted just past Reyes and Keisha Bedonia. There you go. And lastly, from the PLDT high-speed hitters, we'll take a look at Angel Alcantara with the serve, which caused issues for Capital One. This was sent over by Sidney Niegos and dug up by Fiola Ceballos. Alcantara would then set it up for Erica Santos for the powerful spike, which Roma Medromal could not contain. Some of the highlights that we saw from this day of sports. And check, just spectacular highlights. You see that Ja Morant dunk?
Thank you for doing the highlights tonight, Jut. But yes, I'm glad you brought up Ja Morant because,
Wow, right?
nanggigil siya. We felt that. Can you just take a look at that highlight again? It's just...
Again, he's coming back from an injury. Can we emphasize
and
that?
Like his reaction to his own dunk even just like made it even better. He was so, yeah.
Yeah, we need this guy on the dunk contest.
All right. Thank you for that, Jut. And before we go, guess who's back in the Tigers' den? It's none other than two-time Olympian EJ Obiena. The world number 3 pole vaulter paid his alma mater a visit earlier today to conduct drills at the pole vault pit near the Beato Angelico building. Obiena also took the time to take photos with USD students in the campus. It's been a busy homecoming so far for EJ. Over the weekend, he inaugurated his first pole vault facility in Lawag, Ilocos Norte. Then, he caught the Gilas Pilipinas game against Hong Kong to close out the second window of the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers. Obiena is set to return to competition in late January next year after his 2024 season was cut short due to a spinal injury.
And that's all from us tonight. Catch us again tomorrow at 9 p.m. for a play-by-play of the day's top stories from sports.
Play-by-play is on One News, that's Signal TV Channel 8 on SD and Channel 250 on HD. We're also available on Signal Play and Pilipinas Live.
I'm Jot Sulit, sitting in for Andre Felix.
Thank you, Judd. And I'm Cheska Calao. Thank you for watching, everyone. Good night.